Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the next giant leap for artificial intelligence, the moment it stops just thinking and starts doing. So think about it. You've probably asked an AI to help you write an email or summarize a document. But what if you could give it a much bigger task? Something like, plan my whole vacation, and then it actually goes and books the flights and hotels for you. This is the huge leap we're talking about, from an AI that just talks to an AI that actually acts.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll start with the AI we're all pretty familiar with now. Then, we'll look at how it's being given senses and tools, which is paving the way for what we call AI agents. After that, we'll check out how they're already being used in the real world. And finally, we'll peek into what our agentic future might actually look like.
Okay, so our journey really has to start with a technology that's basically become a household name at this point, the large language model, or LLM.
You know, at its very heart, an LLM is this unbelievably sophisticated pattern matcher. After being trained on a massive chunk of the internet, its whole job is just to make the best possible guess about what word should come next in a sentence. But here's the crucial catch. All of that knowledge is locked in, totally frozen at the moment its training ended. And this is a perfect way to picture it. It's just like Gromit here, laying down the track literally moments before the train gets there. An LLM generates text one word at a time, always predicting the most likely next piece based on everything that came right before it. But, and this is a big but, for all their power, these models have some really critical flaws. They can confidently just make stuff up, which we call hallucinating. Their knowledge is stuck in the past, and they're completely blind to any of your private data or what's happening in the world right now. These are the walls that stop them from being truly useful for complex, real-world jobs.
So the big question is, how do we get around these problems? How do we connect this powerful AI brain to the outside world to make it genuinely useful?
Well, the answer is to give the LLM senses and hands. We break down those walls with two key techniques that connect its isolated brain to the dynamic, real-time world. The first is called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG, and the second is tool usage.
Think of RAG like this. It's like giving the AI a library card and a live internet connection. So instead of just having to rely on its old, baked-in memory from training, it can now look things up in external documents, databases, or websites to find current, factual info before it gives you an answer.
And this process is what grounds the AI in reality. So instead of just guessing, the system first searches for the specific facts it needs. It then uses that fresh information to build its answer. It's basically the difference between trying to remember something versus looking up the correct answer. It cuts down on errors and makes the AI's knowledge totally current.
Now, if RAG gives the AI senses to perceive new information, tool usage gives it hands to take action. This lets the LLM actually call on other pieces of software or APIs. It can do a web search, check a database, or even send an email. This is the real jump from just talking to actually doing.
So what happens when you combine an AI that can perceive the world with one that can act on it? Well, you get something entirely new, an AI agent.
An AI agent isn't just a chatbot sitting there waiting for your next question. Nope. It's an autonomous system that you can delegate tasks to. You give it a high-level goal, like plan my trip to Tokyo, and it independently figures out and executes the whole plan to make it happen.
But this isn't just a marketing buzzword, A true AI agent has a very specific set of characteristics that allow it to operate on its own, intelligently, out in the world.
And out of all of these, what really defines an agent is its autonomy and its focus on a goal. It doesn't need you to give it step-by-step instructions. It understands the final objective, it figures out all the necessary tasks, it makes its own decisions, and it learns from its actions until the job is done.
Okay, this is a really powerful concept, but where is it actually being used today? Let's take a look at how AI agents are already getting to work in the real world.
So agents are already being rolled out across major industries. Just imagine an HR agent that doesn't just look for keywords on a resume, but actually sifts through thousands of them, identifies the best candidates based on really nuanced criteria, and then goes ahead and schedules their interviews. Or a finance agent that's just tirelessly monitoring market data and executes trades the very instant its strategy is met.
But the real power, the real magic happens when these agents stop working alone. We can now build entire teams of agents, each with its own special skill that all collaborate on a single problem. And a really fascinating example of this comes from the world of criminal investigation.
So check this out. In this system, you have a criminal investigation master agent, who's basically the project manager. It gets an audio recording of an interrogation, and then it delegates tasks to its team. One agent transcribes the audio, another analyzes the transcript for any inconsistencies, a third one cross-references statements with a criminal database, and a final agent compiles all of those findings into one formal report.
This incredible progress, going from simple predictors to these coordinated teams of agents, it really begs the question, what's coming next?
The pace of change here is just staggering. In 2022, chatbots like ChatGPT felt like magic. Today, we're already deploying autonomous agents, and the road ahead is pointing toward even smarter reasoning and, most importantly, entire collaborative systems with multiple agents working together.
The real future isn't just one single smarter agent. It's the creation of entire digital workforces. Imagine teams of specialist AIs that work together on problems, share what they learn with each other, and tackle challenges that are way too complex for any one person or any single AI to solve alone.
You know, this is so much more than just an upgrade. It's a fundamental change in how we relate to computers. We are moving from a world where we command passive tools to one where we collaborate with active, autonomous partners.
And this leaves us with the single biggest question of all. As these agents get more and more capable, more and more autonomous, we have to ask ourselves, what are we truly building? It's a question that is absolutely going to define the next decade. Thanks for joining me on this explainer.